You know that it's important to set financial goals, but did you know that there are actually four different types of financial goals that you should be setting every single year? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share what those four goal types are so that you can set better goals and make this your best financial year ever. Hi, I'm Tasha Cochran. I'm a lawyer and a wealth coach, and this is One Big Happy Life, where we help you find balance, build wealth, and live happy. Everything that you need to create the life that you want. Before we dive into all things goal setting, I want to let you know that I'm doing a free live money class all about helping you build wealth on your terms. It's called Create Your Financial Dream Life, and you can register by heading over to onebighappylife.com/wealth class. In this live money masterclass, I'll be sharing the four keys to creating a money plan that actually works and that helps you build wealth with ease. So head on over to onebighappylife.com/wealth class and grab your seat. I'm really excited to dive into these four different types of financial goals with you today because so many people miss at least one or two. So as we go through these, I want you to comment down below and let me know which ones you've been missing out on. So let's start by talking about why we need goals and specifically why we need to make sure that we are setting goals in each one of these financial categories. So I want you to think of your goals as a way of making your vision for your life actually come true. If you don't have goals, then you don't know what success looks like. You don't know whether or not you're there yet because you've never even decided where there is. So think of it this way. Let's say that you're in this new city that you've never been to before, and there's a person standing on the corner on their phone, and you walk up to them and you say, "Hey, can you give me directions?" And the person looks like a friendly person, looks up at you and says, "Sure, I've lived in this city my whole life. I know it like the back of my hand. Where do you need to go? I'd love to help." And so you say to them, I'm not sure. Somewhere." They're going to look at you like, "Huh?" And then what might they do? They might start asking you questions to figure out exactly what that somewhere is that you're looking for, right? They need a landmark. They need something to try to start heading you in the right direction. Well, your goals are like landmarks and that final destination. Those are the things that help you see whether or not you're on track. It helps you define success. It helps you decide how you want to show up in your life every single day. As you are thinking about your goals and thinking about the types of goals that you want to set, I want you to keep three things in mind. The first is that they are not fixed. So your goals are there to serve you. They're your landmarks, they're your mile markers. You decide where the road is going to go and honestly, how long a mile even is, right? Because they're your goals. They're there to serve your life. So they're not fixed. If they're not working for you anymore, if your vision or your values change, your goals can change too. So don't feel like because you have set goals that you've then just gotten rid of all of the whimsy in your life. No, if you approach goal setting from a place of these can change and they should evolve as I evolve, that can actually help make sure that your life doesn't become stagnant and then you don't end up in like a midlife crisis because you weren't paying attention to the signs that something in your life needed to change. The other thing you should keep in mind about goals is that they are not enough. It's not enough to just set a goal and then walk away and say, "All right, cool, I'm good. I set a goal. That's it. I'm done. I'll get there eventually." That's not the way goals work. You actually have to also take action. So with every goal, there is an outcome goal, which is the place that you're thinking that you want to head to because of that goal. And then there's also a corresponding process goal, or you can call this a habit, the things that you need to do and consistently show up doing in order to actually reach those goals. So you've got to make sure that you have a goal, a target, and then you have goals that are based on actions, you actively doing things. The third thing, and really take this to heart, that you need to know about goals is they do not have to kill you to be worth it. They don't have to feel hard to be phenomenal goals and the perfect goals for your life. So, for example, building wealth. being good with money. None of that needs to feel hard. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to punish yourself. You don't have to set these very short, time bound goals that basically like make you feel like your life is completely miserable because you have tried to get it done so quickly, right? We all tend to do this with weight loss goals. At the beginning of the year, we're like, all right, we're going to lose that first 20 pounds in that first month. And then what happens? We burn out. It's not sustainable. So goals don't have to be heavy and hard. They can be light, they can be easy. And in fact, that is the best kind of goal to set because when we set goals that we love to show up in every day, then it's more likely that we'll actually be able to accomplish those goals. So, now what about setting too many goals? You might be thinking, Tasha, four different types of financial goals, and I've got to set one in each category. That's four goals already. Isn't that going to be overwhelming? And here's how I want you to think about it. Time is going to pass regardless. This next year, it's going to happen no matter what you do, whether or not you set goals. And there are going to be a lot of events that are outside of your control that are going to happen this year, whether or not you set goals. What your goals do is give you an opportunity to decide in advance who you are going to be in your own life and what you want to happen in your life for the rest of your life, right? So if your goals are feeling overwhelming, it may be because you've internalized this idea that it has to be a massive improvement in a short period of time. So let's say you're walking to the mailbox, right? Let's think of your goal as the mailbox, and the mailbox is at the end of your street. At no point do you say, I have to make it to the mailbox in one single bound, because you're not Superwoman, right? You understand that to get to the mailbox, you're sitting on your couch. You've got to stand up, you've got to turn, you've got to walk over to your front door, reach to the knob, open it, walk outside. Each one of those are tiny micro goals that you don't even realize that you set for yourself because you did it automatically. And that's the power of setting achievable and easy micro goals to help you get to your big goal. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just think, what is it about this that is feeling overwhelming to me? Am I trying to do too much in a short period of time and it's feeling too restrictive? And so it's something that I don't think I can stick to, right? And if that's the case, you know to scale back. The other reason why goals can feel really overwhelming, especially if we're really pushing ourselves outside of our boundaries of what we thought would be possible for us in our lives, is that they can be scary. They can feel like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Let me go back into my safe little cocoon. This is too overwhelming. I have to change too much. And I could do a whole video on how to deal with that overwhelm and fear, because I have definitely, like basically my whole adult life, continually stepped out of my comfort zone to get where I am today. But the thing that I will say is the key here is, again, just really stepping into your vision for your life, really thinking about, what is it that I want? How do I want to spend my time? What kind of life do I want to look back on? And also just remember that you can break your big, bold, audacious goals into small, tiny steps that you can take to get you closer and closer to that goal over time. All right, so now let's talk about those four different types of financial goals that you should be setting. So I'm going to talk about what they are, why they matter. I'll give you some real world examples, and I'll also give you a couple personal examples, because I know that it can be so helpful to see these personal finance concepts really in someone's real life, like how they play out and what that life looks like. The four different types of financial goals are independence goals, stability goals, lifestyle goals, and growth goals. And yes, you should be working on all four of these. So you should have goals in all four of these areas, basically all the time. And the reason for that is because each one of these areas represents an important component of a healthy financial life. If you focus on one at the expense of the others, they become out of balance, and there's no reason for that. So an example would be working in a job that you hate for 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years because there's a pension just so that you can retire. That's 10, 20, 30 years of living with your life out of alignment because you're not hitting those lifestyle goals. right? Because you're not living the life that you actually want. You're suffering through life to reach an independence goal. And you don't want that. So that's why if you make sure that you're considering all four areas of your financial life, then you're less likely to find yourself in a position where you have prioritized one type of goal over another and your overall benefit has decreased. And the other thing I want you to keep in mind as you're setting your financial goals is that these goals should not be a destination. It shouldn't be, well, I'll be happy when I reach financial independence, or I will be at peace with my money once I have a 12-month emergency fund. These are meant to be a way of living. It's a way of managing your finances for your entire life. You have fully the capability to feel at peace and be happy with your financial situation right now. You just have to give yourself permission to let go of all of the other baggage, accept where you are right now, and then just stay focused on your goals and making tiny progress towards those goals over time. All right, so now let's dive a little deeper into each one of those categories, starting with the independence goals. These types of goals are aimed at helping you reach financial independence so that you can support yourself if and when you decide that you're ready to stop working. This often includes investing in some type of income producing asset that will continue to grow over time and provide an income to you. So, for example, investing in the stock market or investing in real estate where you're not actively managing that real estate, because if you are working as a landlord, then you still have a job. Or another example would be investing in a business where you're able to take distributions as part of your ownership of that business, but you are no longer involved in the day-to-day running of that company. These are really important because you want to have the option to be able to retire, even if you plan on never retiring because you love the work that you do. You still want to know that you have the financial resources to support yourself if you're forced to stop working for personal or family reasons. Now, these types of goals can also be the most challenging to reach. They take the longest amount of time, unless, of course, you make a lot of money, or alternatively, you go to extremes to hit them faster. And if that's you, if you've been feeling tempted to work really hard, stay at a job that you don't like, work longer hours to hit financial freedom faster, I'd love for you to stop and ask yourself why. Why do you feel pressure to reach that destination so quickly? Are there other alternatives that would allow you to reach financial independence in a way that's more enjoyable, where you're able to enjoy all of the years of your life and you're not looking at this one type of financial goal as a, I'll only be happy if I happen to get to the end of this particular goal? Because remember, we're never guaranteed to have additional years, right? So it's really important that we not over prioritize this type of financial goal, and to the extent that we're completely sacrificing our other goals right now and also the time and life that we have right now. So now let me give you a couple of examples of what an independence goal could look like. The most obvious one is having a certain amount of money in your nest egg by the time you hit your ideal retirement age. That is a big independence goal. But another type of independence goal that you could set is to hit your minimum savings rate every month. So minimum savings rate is a concept that we dive deep into inside of Wealth Builder Society. But basically the idea is it's the amount that you need to save and invest in income producing assets every single month in order to retire at your ideal age while being able to support your ideal lifestyle. So setting that minimum savings rate as I'm going to make sure that I hit this every month, that is an independence goal. Another independence goal is to build a business that's able to replace your employee income. And that gives you options where your income can come from, which gives you a certain amount of financial freedom because you can make money in a business or you can make money by being someone else's employee. And that's exactly what I did with One Big Happy Life. I built a business that was able to replace my income and my benefits as a banking and finance attorney. And then I went all in my business. But at any time, I could go back and be a banking and finance attorney and make that income as well. So that gives me a certain amount of independence in at least how I make my money. The second type of financial goal is stability goals. So these are goals that help us weather life's inevitable upheavals. These types of goals are important because life happens. Life is unpredictable. And so that's why it's so important that we build our financial stability over time so that we're able to weather bigger and bigger and bigger upheavals. So, examples of stability goals would be having sufficient life insurance, having sufficient health insurance, having repair reserves so that you're able to repair and replace things as they inevitably wear out. And of course, a big one is having an emergency fund so that you're able to continue to support your household, your family, your lifestyle, even if something happens to your income. And just like independence goals, stability goals, they build on themselves over time. So in the very beginning, most people start with basically zero financial stability, right? They're maybe fresh out of college, they don't have any money to their names, they don't have a large emergency fund, and they're new at their job. So they don't can't it's not even easy for them to replace their income if they lose their income unexpectedly. But over time, you start to do things like build up your emergency fund. You build up your personal skills so that you know different ways to make money. Yes, stretching your income earning potential is also a type of stability goal. And there's a lot of crossover here. So sometimes that makes it a little bit easier to hit all four categories. But over time, as your skills grow, as your ability to make money grows, as you start using your money to build your financial stability and prepare for the expected unexpected, as I like to call it, things that we know are going to happen, like flat tires and car repairs, but we just don't know when. The more you do that over time, the bigger and bigger upheavals you'll be able to withstand. The third type of financial goal is a lifestyle goal. These are goals that are based on spending for your vision for your life. So, where do you shop? Where do you live? What experiences do you have in your life? All of the things that we do in our daily lives, they cost money. And these lifestyle goals are a way of deciding what you want your life to look like in advance, what you want to be able to spend your money on in advance. And so, again, you have those goalposts, those mile markers to help you figure out whether or not they are on track. And lifestyle goals are really great at helping us make sure that we're spending on what matters and not spending on what doesn't matter to us personally. Now, lifestyle goals are typically where people tend to struggle, either with under prioritizing lifestyle goals or over prioritizing lifestyle goals. Now, lifestyle goals do tend to compete with our stability goals and our independence goals because they are spending goals. They are not savings goals, but they're incredibly important because at the end of the day, we are going to spend money on our lives. So it's important for us to understand where we want to spend that money and also how much money we want to spend because money is meant to be spent in a way that supports the life that we want. So you've got to decide, what do you want that life to look like? What does your dream house look like? How much do you want to travel? Where do you want to shop? What kinds of causes do you want to be able to donate generously to? All of that goes into play when we talk about our lifestyle goals. There's always this temptation, especially when you are working to improve your relationship with money, to build wealth, and to be in a better financial position, to focus on saving and over saving. And so that is, again, why it's so important that you find that balance between these four different types of financial goals. Because what you don't want is to get to the end of your life and find out that you oversaved and underlived. That is a recipe for regret. So that's why it's important for you to think about, what do I want my lifestyle goals to be? What do I want my life to look like? The other really powerful thing about making that decision in advance is that it becomes really easy to stick to your money plan when you're not using rules of thumb and budget percentages, but you're actually building a budget based on a life that you want. Then it becomes easy. So that is one way to make sure that you're able to stick to your plan. And you're less likely to overspend because you're not worried about what other people are doing, what they're telling you you should be doing. You're staying in alignment with what you want to do in your own life. So don't overlook the lifestyle goals. The fourth and final type of financial goal is a growth goal. So this means investing money back into yourself to help you grow as a person. So this could include investing in your skills, investing in your knowledge, investing in your health, both mental and physical health. This is by far the area that I see the most people struggle with. And I've been thinking a lot and wondering why that is. And I've got a couple thoughts about that I want to share with you. And let me know if any of this resonates with you. So, first of all, when it comes to personal finance, we are almost never taught how to spend well, how to spend in an investment, how to invest in ourselves. In fact, if you look at the way we often see student loans talked about, they're seen as like this hindrance, this thing that actually was a bad idea. And so what does that help? What does that cause us to internalize? That investing in ourselves was a mistake. That the first thing that we did as an adult, which was to invest in our own brains, was a bad idea. And that's not actually true, right? For even if, let's just say that you invested in a degree that you didn't use, you gained so much knowledge from that degree. You gained such important feedback about your own life, what you want and what you don't want, who you want to be and who you don't want to be going forward. And there's no telling what would have happened had you made a different decision. And so I think this idea of looking back and trying to say, well, we should have made a different decision about investing in ourselves actually only hurts us and stops us from growing because it stops us from continuing to invest in ourselves as time goes on. The other big thing I think that contributes to people not investing in themselves is that they may not realize that they actually can continue to grow. I mean, so many of us, we go through college and then we start working and then it feels like, all right, well, I'm done. Because, often we spend a lot of time wishing that school was over. Or you might be someone like me who absolutely loved to learn, but even still, you get a little tired of the rigid structure of school and you're like, all right, I'm ready to be done with this school thing. But if you're not in a career like that requires continuing education, like as a lawyer, we had continuing legal education requirements. So I was used to this idea of continually investing in my own brain, deepening my knowledge of the law. If you're not in one of those professions, you can completely overlook how important it is to continually hone your skills and how that makes you more valuable at your job and allows you to command a higher income, either from your current employer or landing better and better jobs because you're so good at what you do. And lastly, something that I think stops people is that no one ever told them that it is okay to just spend money on themselves and improving themselves. And you don't need permission from anyone on how to spend your money, but in case you needed to hear it, you are absolutely, money spent on you is money well spent. Here are some examples of growth goals. So, attending college, going to a trade school, things that increase our ability to earn income in our profession, investing in therapy or life coaching, things that help us help mentally healthy humans, investing in gym memberships, personal trainers, meal kit delivery services, things that help us take care of our physical bodies, and also investing in continuing education. So that includes coaching, mentorship, courses, seminars, things that help us continue to grow. So those are the 4 different types of financial goals that you should be setting. Now, again, setting those goals is just the beginning of putting together a financial plan that allows you to build wealth with ease while also enjoying your life along the way. So don't forget to head on over to onebighappylife.com/wealth class to sign up for the live money masterclass so that we can hang out together. You can learn our framework for confidently taking control of your money, and I will see you there. Bye.